Alright, this is for a few friends of mine. You know who you are. And future friends that I haven't made yet. I didn't know until this last week when I went into a fly shop in Salt Lake City, Western Rivers Fly Fishers, that they actually made size 2 hooks, 7x long. Look how long this thing is. So I primarily fish still waters, and this is going to be a huge advantage because apparently some of these big fish that I'm not catching prefer giant flies. So I've taken a few notes from brothers in the UK and my little buddy Andrew on tying boobies, right? A fly that floats, you fish with a sinking line, and it's pretty much outlawed in a lot of the pay-to-fish places in the UK, as well as a private lake that I fish. But on some of my private waters or public waters here in Nevada, it's not outlawed, and it's very, very effective. So because this hook is so heavy, I cut myself a strip of foam and wrap the whole body in foam that will help raise this fly with a sinking line, in addition to the booby eye. Synthetics. There's some badass synthetics on the market out there right now. I actually just found a bunch more I didn't even know existed. And then I read an article about palmered marabou last week. And again, that opened up a whole new dimension for making some big nasty flies. So the tip is really, really, really gentle. So I try to tie it in a little bit below the tip, so you got some strength in the stem of the feather, so it doesn't break when you go to palmer it. And just add that tip into the tail. Brought my up forward and then palmer it. And I've got this synthetics, this crazy I think it's made by Estaz Polar Schnell. So it kind of is always at the base, so as the marabou is moving, you'll see a flash of that fake stuff, this synthetics right here. And with one feather, you can only get so far. So what's kind of evolved is I can tie another look at that. That's sexy. So the back half is this dark olive green, it's almost black marabou, and then the front will be another color because you ran out of it while you were wrapping, right? So grab some black, do the same thing all over again. And it's kind of a feel. You know, you can feel the stem. If it feels like it's gonna break when you wrap it, just don't do it. And you know what that feeling is. So I try to tie it in on the top. Bring my little buddy up to the front. And it helps when you get better quality hackle, because it's not gonna be a big stiff son of a bitch like this is right now. So the whole principle with the Booby, or fishing floating flies, is you're fishing with a sinking line, right? They're down on the bottom of the lake. You have a short leader, and if you got weeds that are growing, you can adjust the leaders so they'll stay up above the weeds, and you twitch that thing. Once it sinks down to the bottom, and it goes chew and floats back up, chew, floats back up. And most of the time, why it's outlawed on a lot of the pay-to-fish lakes in the UK is because the fish takes it, just swallows it, devours it when it's floating up. So I really want to try this on Pyramid Lake here in Nevada for these 20-pound cutthroats, and on some of our other public lake fisheries. So now I want to throw a little bit of flash on the sides. Sometimes you gotta give it a little lick to your paw and get the marabou under control. Otherwise it's just gonna drive you nuts. So far, pretty sexy fly. It's got a lot of foam wrapped into the body. The thin stuff you can buy at Walmart for $3.97 for about 14 or 15 different colors in a big old packet. But on top of that, what we want to do, and before I do it, I want to put just a little bit of crazy flair to the gills behind this foam eye that we're going to tie in, right? This other one I just tied, and this is all new. It's all new to me. So try anything. I got some dyed hen hackle that I tie in behind it, stroke it back, tie in the dubbing in front of it. This UV dubbing that's really long strands. I'll pinch off a piece, roll it, put it on, and then dub it back right like that. Do that on both sides. I mean, who knows? I like it. I think it's sexy. The fish may not give a shit. I think it's a nice little trigger color. Try and get my little wads that I tie on here consistent. Roll them around a little bit. Got a nice little roll. Tie that roll in. Got it where you want it. Fold the other one back that's sticking out front. Look at that. I think that's pretty badass. Haven't tried this yet, so we'll see. I'm gonna try this tomorrow. Next, I bought some 14 blocks of plastizote foam from a guy in the UK for about 27 bucks US. This right here is a knitting needle that's ground down on a bench grinder. Instant, beautiful, consistent eye. Pow. Usually with its inch-thick foam, it's a little too big for the fly. Well, who knows? Maybe I ought to just tie the whole thing on and see if it catches fish. So, you got a little, I don't know, 3-4 inches of line, or out. Split your foam in half with the line. 1, 2, 3. Now, you've got it anchored, secured, where you can start planning on your figure 8 sequence. Once it gets snugged up, kind of muscle it into place and do a series of figure 8s to anchor it. And this is just added foam. I mean, normally on smaller hooks, like the size 8, 3x long, I've got, this is enough to float the hook up and to fish a booby, right? But on this giant monster hook, I tie foam into the body, use this, and then all the rest is just finishing it off. I'll add some bushy dubbing back behind the back. And what's really cool, but expensive, is I got these fish eyes. That's it. But you can also, multiple different vendors, even the craft store sells these little doll eyes. I'll glue these on. Or you can get the kind that they sell to fly fishermen like us, these living eyes, crazy eyes. Glue those on and tie a big bastard like this. Now if it'll catch fish, I'll show you, and I really think it will. But that'll be on a later video. Happy spring.